really appreciate it. This is one of those dinners that I'll never probably make it to. It's a retirement dinner, and I don't think I could stay anywhere long enough to retire. But this morning I went in and told Dr. Gould that I had a sign from God that I wasn't supposed to be here today. I walked out the door and I picked up this silk suit off the hanger and I dumped a 16-ounce cup of tea on it. Now, you wouldn't be able to tell by looking at it, obviously, would you? But I did come in and crying and all that kind of stuff, and he told me I had to do it in my jeans. So we were going to do it. But Rich was nice enough not to wear his outfit since I couldn't get dressed when I called him this morning, and so he actually has a really nice outfit he was going to wear today, but he decided not to.
Well, actually, as I recall, it was a bet. None of us have ever seen Mary in a dress, right? Ever. I said if she wore a dress, I'd wear a dress. So I brought my dress.
And I felt really bad that I didn't wear a dress because Rich's dress is really nice. I wish I had worn one. Yeah, I mean.
But if you had worn your dress, I would have worn mine.
Maybe next year we'll go for that one. What do you think? Actually, thanks for coming. We really do appreciate it. I'd like to introduce Dr. Gould, our new president, or actually president of the last 18 months or so, and he's going to recognize, board members and new employees, new staff members. So please welcome Dr. Gould.
Thank you, Mayor and Rich. Yeah, she cleans up pretty well. It's amazing. Well, first of all, let me welcome you to this wonderful ceremony today. It really is not only to recognize those who have given and dedicated their lives to this institution through their retirement, but to recognize each and every one of you for the contribution that you have made. But I need to tell you a little story. This day didn't start out too good. It really didn't start out very good. You know, I received some words of wisdom a number of years ago that I really live by, and those words are, expect the unexpected, and I can tell you the unexpected happened today in many, many ways. First of all, I started my day, and I had one of our wonderful and beloved staff members in the office really concerned about money, and nothing bothers me more than to see our staff and faculty and any of our employees wanting to go on vacation and not having the money to do that. And my blood pressure rises when we can't meet everyone's needs. And although I've been trying to wave the magic wand, I haven't done it yet, but I want to apologize to that person for that event this morning. And we'll do everything we can to make sure that you can go on vacation and enjoy it. Instead of I'll give you my old book of Europe on $5 a day. It doesn't work very well anymore. But And then, you know, of course, I should have known because I had on my schedule first thing this morning to talk budget with Bob. And when you talk budget with Bob, it's never good news. It's never good news. It was particularly interesting today because we finished our discussions and a tree fell. Now, if that isn't telling you how bad the budget might be, we start out that way. But let me talk a little bit about the tree. It's not just any tree that fell this morning. It's the ceremonial tree. It's the one with the dedication. Fell today, and not only did it fall, it crushed 4 vehicles and damaged another, all belonging to our employees. And you know, they won't make very good sales tomorrow on the auction, I can guarantee you. They really literally are sandwiched. But what I want to say to all of you, and I'll mention the individuals who lost their vehicles in a few moments, is that my commitment, the board's commitment, and our commitment is to make sure that they have transportation today through rental cars at our expense and that we make good on their loss. We can't replace the emotional damage that a surprise on a beautiful day like this that you get when you come to work and you start working, and within an hour you find out that the vehicle that brought you there isn't going to take you home. It's going to be in the parking lot, and needless to say, it's not a very productive day for those employees as they think about some of them grading tests and others finishing the work of the day. We've lost that. But I'm equally saddened by this particular tree. That tree has lived through 4 generations of human beings. And it its majestic, stately look is probably symbolic of everything about this campus, and we're going to lose it. I did bring in Steve Stocking and others to look at it to see if what was left of it could be saved, but it cannot be, we've just found out. And so we'll be losing something that stood majestically over these grounds before it was a college, before it was a mental health institute, before humans really inhabited, at least as we know it today, the grounds in which we serve students on. So it's a loss, not only because it's a tree, but it is the oldest tree. It's over 250 years old. And needless to say, I'm glad Steve was the one that told me it had to fall, because it wasn't easy to make a decision of something that's symbolic of the institution. We also had a very near tragedy in all that. If you've read your email, Ron Takahashi was under the tree and ran and escaped, and apparently is okay. It did hit his shoulder, but apparently he's fine, and we took him to the hospital, not that he had to be rushed, to make sure that there was no damage. But the near tragedy involving human beings is also something that doesn't start your day off very well. So if you get a chance, I want you to talk to Ron and to Paul Sampas and Tony Delatorre. Tony lost a classic vehicle. Allison Rosilli in Bob Earbairn's office, Patricia Emerine, and Adriana Rigdon. Now, Adriana Rigdon, I got to tell you the story. She's an adjunct member of our faculty. She came in today to give makeup final exams at 6 o'clock in the morning because some of her students didn't make her exam yesterday morning. And the only reason her car was in that parking lot because of the kindness of her heart and the need to help students achieve their goals. So those are the stories of our people who, although the day didn't start out well, and certainly has some difficulty for me in it for our employees, it's their dedication that saddens me greatly, but it is their dedication that brought them to the school this morning. We'll tell you there are some interesting things. We won't auction the vehicles, but we are going to auction the wood. The tree is a very, very big tree, and someone could have firewood for a lot of years as a result of that tree. Normally we haul it off, but because it is the ceremonial tree, some of you may have some significance of wanting to burn the ceremonial oak wood in your fireplaces. And then you could think of all those years. So we will do that. But enough of those troubles. Let me first of all introduce the Board of Trustees members who are here with me today. Before I do that, though, I want to apologize for those who are not. And each of them has a story, and it really, I know you faculty members that I've heard these stories before. These are all really true stories, and I want to apologize for them. Mr. Leo Burke, as you know, is recovering from heart surgery. His doctor has not yet released him to be at events like this or graduation, so Leo is still recovering, and we hope that he's back soon. Greg McCreary, the vice president, is in North Dakota. As you know, Greg had a bout with cancer this year, although it looks really good. He needed to get back and see family, and this was the only time of the year that he can make that trek, and so he is gone and will not be joining us either today or tonight to celebrate with the students. Dan Parisis was planning on being here. In fact, he's on your program. And he was planning on giving the final address today, the closing remarks. But Dan, because of the heat yesterday, had to spray all night and in the fields, and he's sleeping so that he can give the remarks to the students tonight. And Maria Elena Serna, if you don't know, she's also retiring this year, and they're having celebrations for her at her high school. So they all have excuses. And I gave them permission not to be here today. But those who are here with us today, I want them all to stand. Ted Seamus, Tony Begurn, and Janet Rivera. You know, before I sit down, I want to just give you a few facts of what you've done this year. Tonight we will be giving out 1,170 Associate in Arts degrees, 4 Associate in Science degrees, and 716 college-level certificates. In essence, 1,890 individuals, maybe some received more than one degree, will receive paper that signifies accomplishment of a goal, but a goal that they couldn't have accomplished without your guidance, your love, sometimes cajoling, But all of those individuals' lives have been changed, and they're now on a path that they've chosen because of the work that you've done. You simply are the best, and I think you should give all of yourselves a round of applause for being the best. You know, today we are recognizing and appreciating those who have chosen to retire, and we will finish with an individual who has dedicated their lives to humanity and to this college. But I want to talk a little bit about the rest of you. If you look at your program today, you're going to see some statistics that are rather remarkable. In the category of 30 or more years, if you count, there are 40 individuals named there. 40 individuals who have given 30 or more years. And I'd like any of you who have given 30 or more years to stand so we can really give you a round of appreciation today. Well, with Mary's permission, because she's the MC, she's running the show. It's up to you. After the consulting's done, we'll have an answer for you. Let me also say that, again, I guess I got number conscious this morning. Maybe it had something to do with the budget. But I also looked at how many of the individuals served 20 or more years. And that's 108 of you who served 20 or more years in this institution. I'd like those of you who have 20 or more years just to wave. I won't have you stand. Just wave. Look at that. And then 207 of you have served 10 or more years. Now let's add that up for a second. 10 or more years. How many of you are in the audience? You can wave too. Now, in a few minutes, you're going to hear about those who have chosen to retire. One of the things I've learned about this institution the year and a half that I've been here, we have people who retire, but most of them don't retire. They kind of come back. But they announce their retirement just, I guess, to have a day like this. But in the case of the person who is here, the rest are retired and they're leaving. The one who's here, he hasn't been here in years. But we're going to recognize him. Congratulations, Ron. It really is an honor to recognize you today. But now we're going to do something new, something that Delta has not done. And so I'd like every person who didn't hear me talk in this activity last year to join me on stage. I want all of you who are new this year to join me on stage. Come on, there's 52 of you, I know. Join me on stage. Now, I want you to look at all these people while they're coming up here, because all of them make me feel like I'm an old-timer. They've all been here fewer months than I've been. So I want you to come on up here, and I want you to stand back where TC is. We're going to give you an opportunity to be honored and recognized here today. But before we do, I kind of want you all to say something about yourselves, but Mary told me I didn't have a lot of time. So I guess I want you to tell us your name and a little bit about you in unison, if you would. All at once. All at once. Well, maybe just your name. So on the count of three, I'd like you all to just shout out your name so everyone can recognize you here today. So we'll go 1, 2, but wait a minute, wait. Let me join the group out here because I'm not quite sure what they have in mind for you. One, two, three. Thank you for joining the Delta College family. We really do appreciate you. Now the secret is, for a year, you can't tell anybody what happened to you today. Nor can any of you tell any of the new people who start afterwards, because we're going to do this every year. Because we really do appreciate what you do for students, and we recognize you, and thanks for joining the family. Now you really don't have to shout out your name. You can sit down. Okay, that was my recognition, so I'll turn it back to our MC if she's finished negotiating.
Before Rich gets here, so I can say something. No, actually, we'll try to get on with the program because I know everybody has someplace to go, and I'm sure Rich doesn't have anything intelligent to say, so there's absolutely no point in letting him speak. We would actually like to welcome Linda Kelso from classified staff, and she is going to do the recognition of retiring classified staff. Please give Linda a hand.
I'll get you.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Rich. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce to you the classified professionals who are retiring this year. I'll go ahead and introduce the ones who are unfortunately not able to attend. First, Michelle Jan Thomas. She was with Delta College for 11 years. She was hired on November 1st of 1989 as a science lab aide in the Science and Mathematics Division. At that time, she had an AA in Behavior Sciences and a BA with a Master in English and a minor in Biology. During her time at Delta, working full-time, she was able to continue her education and attain her Master's in Special Education. Currently, Michelle is working with people who have learning disabilities. Michelle is a true team player and was highly thought of by the staff in her department. It is our loss at Delta, but her new students are happy to have her. Let's congratulate Michelle Jan Thomas. The next classified who had retired was Ida Gall. She had also been here 11 years. Some of you may not know, but her actual name was Ada, but everybody called her Ida. She started at San Joaquin Delta College on November 29th, 1989, and she was a typist clerk, too, in the Guidance and Counseling Department, and diligently served in that capacity for her full tenure at Delta College. Ada was a true team player and highly thought of by the students and staff of Guidance and Counseling. Her quality of service and high productivity set a standard for those around her. She has been sorely missed since her retirement in June of 2000. Let's congratulate Ida. Our next retiree actually just left yesterday. That's Barbara Chandler, and she had 30 years of service here at Delta. She was hired on September 2nd of 1971 as a typist clerk 1 in the Communication and Social Science Division. Barbara has worked at Delta for over those 30, and for those last 8 years, she was a secretary in the Science and Math Division. I received a statement from Dr. Alicia Ricardez of the Science and Math Department, and she asked me to read this about Barbara. Barbara, our secretary, has been a very important person in the Science and Math Division. New and mature faculty value all of her help and assistance she always provided. She takes the time to help and guide new faculty members through the forms and important datelines. My first semester here at Delta was easier because of her assistance. Besides being extremely helpful and efficient, she is willing to listen to the problems, stories, and bad jokes that we, the faculty, bring to the office. She greets and helps all the students and visitors that come to the division office. Now that she is retiring, Barbara will certainly be missed as secretary and as a friend. All the members of the faculty in the division wish her well in her new life. And so do we, Barbara. Yeah. And the last classified professional who is retiring is Mr. Ron Duva. Ron was hired in August 3rd of 1981 as a custodian in the Maintenance and Operation Department. In January 1st of 1985, he became a carpet maintenance worker for the Maintenance and Operations. Mr. Duva is a graduate of Wayne State University, where he earned a BA degree in liberal arts. He also obtained a secondary teaching certification and California preliminary teaching credential. Mr. Duva has served as CSCA Chapter 359 President and First Vice President of CSCA State Board of Directors during his tenure at Delta College. He was elected as CSCA State President in 1998 and has served in that capacity until his retirement on March 31st, 2001. Let's welcome Ron Duva. Do you have any words to say?
I sure recognize some of you. I figured I'd be the only one showing up today because I was the only one who wasn't here for the last 3 years. So it seemed only fair. On the way in today, I heard a joke that I'd like to repeat to you. It's about a bunny and a snake that were born blind. And they didn't know what they were, and they were traveling through the woods one day, and the bunny tripped over the snake. Snake got all discombobulated, and the bunny said, "Well, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it, but you see, I'm blind." And he said, "I really don't know what I am." And the snake said, "Well, I really don't know what I am either, but you know what? Maybe if I could crawl around on you a little bit, maybe I could help figure out what you were, and that would help you out." So the bunny said, "All right," and the snake kind of wound his way around the bunny. He said, "Well, you have soft fur, you have long ears, a twitchy nose, and a soft cotton tail. I believe you're a bunny." And he said, "Wow, that's great. It's so nice to know what I am." And the bunny said, "Well, would you like me to tell you what you are? Maybe I could help you." And the snake said, "Sure." He said, "Maybe I could just run my paw over you and I'd figure it out." So the snake said, "Great." So the bunny took his paw and ran it up and down the snake, and he said, "Well, you have scales, you're kind of slimy, you have a forked tongue, no backbone, and no balls. You're either a lawyer, an administrator, or a manager." I had to give one more shot. I mean, you know. But in all honesty, I have to tell you that now I are a manager too. So I can say those kind of things, I think. It's really great to be here today. I'm sorry that some of my friends are no longer with us and can't be here today, because they did a lot for this college as well. And I'm reflecting on their memory. I'm thinking of some of the proudest things that we accomplished here, aside from, when I say we, I mean everyone in this college working together. We accomplished a number of first things that benefited a number of our employees. I'll never forget a contract that had total district paid benefits for all the retirees, and they retired out on that. And it set them in good stead for the rest of their life. You can't find anything like that anymore. When we had problems that came in after Proposition 13, the employees of this college voluntarily said, we will take no raise in order to preserve the jobs of those individuals who are here. That's what employees do, and sometimes that's forgotten. One of the other things that I think was not only a first for Delta College, but also in the state and in the nation, was the Cesar Chavez Memorial and the paid holiday. Still, a lot of people don't have that, but this college was the first to step up and do that. So I know that there are days that it is not a particular joy to do everything that you do, but I think if you reflect back on the whole, you will see that we have made great progress. We have accomplished many things together, and I am very grateful in the news that's coming to me about how this district is operating in the last 18 months, and I think that's a direct reflection on Dr. Gould. Congratulations. So having gone through this process of retirement, I can tell you it's great, okay? It's terrific, it's easy. For those of you who are classified, the PERS retirement system is terrific. It's easy to get through. You can get it done in about a half hour, but start at least 90 days before you plan on retiring. We have a terrific system. That's why the governors always want to rate it. But I want to say thanks to all of you, because nobody here works alone, and no one can accomplish the goals alone, and our students couldn't achieve what they do in life if it weren't for all of us working together. So I say thank you for all of that and all that you do every day, not only to help yourselves and each other, but also the future leaders of this country. Thanks very much.
Okay. Thanks, Ron. And now I'd like to call up Roger Waller.
I cannot believe that Linda Kelso did my job. Oh, wait, no, wait. What?
The last time you were up here,
I know, it was your classified staff.
excuse me, it's just like when we played softball the other week. You bend the rules so that you always win. Well, it ain't gonna happen this time.
Oh, you're going to practice this year, right?
It's my pleasure to introduce Roger Waller, who will be recognizing the, thank you, I can read. Believe it or not, classified people can read.
I am now more aware.
Good, I'm glad. For recognition of retiring faculty staff and distinguished faculty awards.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. It's great to be here. I'd like to ask Al Ortiz to join me up front to help recognize our retiring faculty. Where's Al? Where's Al? I have all my little plaques here. Al has his plaques here. I wanted to also just mention that it's neat to see Ron back here. Ron has done a lot for the college, and I think that, you know, I always knew that something would happen when Ron came back on campus. Tree falls, you know, all sorts of things are happening. And the other great thing about Ron is, you notice how we had to really force him to come up to the microphone, you know, and it's amazing. I wanted you to pull out those little cards then saying on these things. So, you know, Ron's always prepared, I think, to do these things. And the other thing, I think we want to certainly recognize all the retirees. And, you know, I think it's important for us to, as Ron indicated, how important it is for everybody to work together on this. And I think that that's the one thing. Oh, wait, I have a phone call. Oh, it's Jim Thome. Hey, this is great. I know this is Mark's person. Jim, you want me to have you say anything to everybody who's here? No, Jim, I can't say that. No, I can't say that. Well, okay, I'll leave it to Mark. Okay, Mark. Jim will, you can fill in for Jim here. One of the great things, and I think Ron talked about it, is we're all working to get to retirement, and it's great to recognize our faculty who are retiring. And I'm going to ask Al to talk a little bit about Robert Viejo Pantora, and Al had a chance to work with him a lot because I think we saw Al stand up in that first group. Is that correct, Al? You're part of, one more year. One more year, and then he joins the mature faculty that I think Alicia was talking about. So.
You never know what you're going to get when you come up on stage with this guy. Matt and I are going into the plaque business with 40 people, 30 years plus. Matt, we're going to start doing this as a business. It's Robert Vallejo Pantoja, you gringo, you. How many years have you been here? Espanol 1, okay? It's my honor to recognize Roberto. I remember him 30 years ago when he sat across the table interviewing me for a position here. He was a strict disciplinarian. I can't think of any other award or anything I could say more fitting about Robert's career other than he was a distinguished faculty member, strict standards, absolutely student-centered, dedicated to his job. I remember him coming from the University of the Americas in Puebla, taking students there during the summer, devoting his own summer to take students into Mexico. I remember putting on dance classes and drama productions in the early 70s. In his latter years, his health did fail him, and I know it did slow him down, but I can't think of anything more rewarding of an individual at this college but to leave as a distinguished faculty member, and Roberto does leave with that title. The California Teachers Association, together with Rogers Award, will present to both Robert and Bev York this plaque from Delta College honoring his 32 years of service. Roberto, we're going to sadly miss you. Thank you very much.
Next, I have the opportunity to talk a little bit about Beverly York.
Bueno.
Okay, all right. But I have to make sure now. I have my speech consultant Al over here. But Beverly has had 24 years of service here at Delta College, and even beyond that, I think a lot of us probably didn't recognize that Beverly is a Delta College graduate as she got her AA degree here at Delta College. And I had the chance of working with Beverly initially when she was in the Writing and Tutor Center for all those years. And that really gave her the appreciation of the students. And then with her master's degree that she earned, she moved into the being an English instructor here at Delta College. And I think it really talks about the great progression that we see occur with a lot of the staff here, that you start as a student, you join the staff, and then you reach career aspirations that probably a lot of you never thought you'd achieve. And I want to congratulate Beverly for all of her years of service to the students, staff, and faculty here at Delta College. She was a great colleague, and I think we're all going to miss her concern for the student. And I think she's one of those that we also hope to see back on staff. So Beverly, congratulations. And I'd like to ask Matt Wetstein to join me up on stage also, because I think one of the things that we do try to do is to use today as a recognition of those faculty who are here, and there's one that we don't want to get away without recognizing him.
Thanks, Roger. Is it Buenos tardes? Is that? Thank you. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. That's right. I'm here on behalf of the association, the San Joaquin Delta College Teachers Association, just to present a brief award to Al for his service to the association. He stepped in as president for this year and has served the association for a number of years, and will be stepping down to be grievance chair. Thank God. And I know that personally I've benefited a lot from his guidance this year, serving as guidance as grievance chair. and I'm thankful to turn it back over to him. And every time that I would call Al on the phone, the usual response I would get on the phone line would be, "Young Matt Wetstein." And I've never really come up with a comeback to that sounded appropriate. That wasn't, might be taken the wrong way, but I think I've got it now. I think Alicia Ricardez has given it to me. Mature Dr. Al Ortiz. On behalf of the association, we would like to honor Al Ortiz for outstanding leadership and service to the association as chapter president. Thanks, Al.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll leave my other stuff up here. I'll leave the others. What are these for? No, you're supposed to give those now, Roger. This is the dress rehearsal. Thank you very much. Actually,
I have the dress back here.
I wanted to ask Rich who he liked the least, managers or police officers. Because the next guest actually has the distinguished repertoire of being both. What do you think? The police or managers?
You know, when you combine those two, it's really frightening.
The power to mess up your life, your working condition, your paycheck, and a gun. Oh my God. I don't know what we're going to do. Actually, we'd like to introduce Chief Bromé because he is going to give the Distinguished Management Award, or Retiring Managers Award. Retiring Managers Award, I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say to Ron, I did get up and walk up here rather than slither. And the reason for that was I was afraid that if I slithered, Roger'd probably step on me, and Al Ortiz probably would have kicked me off the stage. So, actually, it's my honor to recognize Dr. Jim Thome for his retirement. I believe Dr. Hastings, Julius Hastings, is here to receive Dr. Thome's plaque. If he would come up on stage for me, I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Julius. Just go ahead and have a seat next to Dr. Gould. Thank you. Dr. Thome performed 10 years of service with Delta College as the division chairperson for science and mathematics. Some of the things that his colleagues remembered that I wanted to share with you was Dr. Hazel Hill made the statement to me yesterday that Jim was the only person on campus besides probably Roger Waller who read every word of all the minutes from every campus committee. And he always had at least one correction to make for every set of minutes that he read. Absolutely, and Roger does a good job too. Dave Farrell stated, that Jim's departure has confirmed the increased real estate value of his house, because he lives in the same neighborhood, since Jim's home sold for the top dollar asking price in one day. Dave went on to say, actually, Jim was a spirited manager and well respected by peers and students. Terry Osborne from the police department stated that Jim always asked the tough, politically incorrect questions, knowing he would take flack for it, but did it cheerfully and with kind spirit. And last but certainly not least, his secretary, Barbara Chandler, who's also retiring, stated that Dr. Thome's promise to himself when he arrived at Delta was, quote, "I will support what is best for the students, and that is it," end quote. She further wanted to state that he was actually committed to serving the administration and staff as well as the students. She said that she would truly miss his honesty, fair treatment, and dedication to the college. He and his wife, Pat, will be settling in the Orlando, Florida area. He has suggested that anyone vacationing in the area should look him up. He would be glad to show them Disney World. And that sounds like Jim. And I would just like to end with that, even though Jim's retiring, he can't get away from us. I have his email address, and there are several staff members who keep in touch with him on a regular basis. His spirit of honesty, integrity, selflessness, and kindness will be missed by all. Thank you. Dr. Julius Hastings will be receiving this plaque on behalf of Jim, which is a plaque that states, in recognition of 10 years of service to San Joaquin Delta College from 1991 to 2001. Thank you.
On behalf of Dr. Thome, I'd like to say thank you.
I'm sure you're supposed to introduce me.
I am.
Okay.
I am actually. Because the dress rehearsal went so terribly, we're going to let Roger try again this time. Okay. Rich has decided that Roger should get one more chance at giving what award was it?
Heck, I don't know. It's these.
The Distinguished Faculty Awards will be given. Thank you, Roger.
Well, this is a great opportunity for us to recognize faculty who've also provided a lot of service who are going to be remaining on campus. And so I think that that's always kind of a neat thing, is to say that we recognize the professionalism and outstanding faculty that we have here. And I'd like to begin by asking Vivian Harper to join me on stage. You notice I always like partners in this so that we can all join in the enjoyment of recognizing our fellow faculty people. So Vivian, we should give Vivian a round of applause. That's always the... She has to walk through all the balloons and everything like this. So Vivian is going to talk a little bit about our first recipient.
When I was in graduate school, one of my professors said that if a person had 2 teachers in their entire educational career who made an impact on their lives, then they were lucky. 2 in their entire educational careers. Just 2. So I thought about that for a long time. So I took out a yellow pad and decided to make a list of those teachers who made such an impact on me. I started with elementary school and went all the way through to graduate school. And I found out that my professor was right. My yellow pad had 2 names on it. One was my 6th grade teacher, who allowed me the freedom to be creative. The other was my experimental psychology professor, who didn't. Both made an impact, but in completely different ways. But they both left their indelible imprint. The name of the person I'm about to introduce would certainly appear on some of our students' 2-teacher list. I've talked with students who told me about the mark she's made on their lives, both joyous and unsettling. For some, it's because of the joy they found in her classes, the sense of community she builds, the laughter, the quirky similarities, and the connection she makes. Students come to realize when they're in her class that they're not alone. Then there's also the unsettling impact when students are faced with their own cultural and racial biases in the cross-cultural simulations she conducts in her classes. They learn that good education isn't easy or fun, and the self-discovery is not without pain. And as she debriefs them, she unites them. And it's because of her innovative teaching techniques, her willingness to unsettle, her pioneering spirit in being the first adjunct faculty member to teach online classes, that I'm honored to introduce Jennifer Kramer as a recipient of the Distinguished Adjunct Faculty Award for 2001. Jennifer?
Well, thank you, Vivian, for your kind comments, and thanks to the Academic Senate for giving me this award today. Excuse me, and I'd like to accept it on behalf of all of the hardworking and very deserving adjunct faculty here at Delta College. And I just want to also add that in my life as a freeway flyer, Delta College is my most favorite destination. And I think it's a favorite destination of the Delta College students here as well. And I think that's because of all of you and the wonderful and supportive community that we have here at Delta College, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. Thank you very much.
To quickly fumble through my papers here to get to talk a little bit about our next recipient. Our next recipient has been here a while, and I guess a while goes back over 30 years. So he happened to stand up during the first group that Dr. Gould recognized. And so instantly people out there are thinking, well, I'm out, or I'm in, in the consideration. that this person also is part of a crack science, or Jim Thome's X-department. So instantly that narrows it down a little bit. This person is also a magician. I don't know if you've seen this person in action, but this person does unbelievable magic tricks. And this person is also very supportive of a number of activities here on Delta College. I think if you've ever been to a sporting event, that you not only see that individual, but you also see his wife, Faye, there as well. So now people are thinking in the audience, my wife isn't named Faye, but there's one of you who recognizes who you are, and I'd like to certainly recognize on behalf of the Academic Senate and the faculty here at Delta College for the outstanding service this person has given to the college and the students here, Julius Hastings.
I'm honored to be standing here before you today. However, I would not be here if it were not for the support that I get, from my wife. When I interviewed to here at Delta, Dr. Blanchard asked me one question, and that was, why did I want to come to Delta? And I really don't know where this statement came from, but I replied to him that I could see Delta growing and that I would like to grow with it. And during my first week here, I was asked to join Dean McNeely, Dean Gus, and Jim Bisley for lunch. I ate lunch every day during my first year with those three people. Someone asked me this morning how I have managed to stay at Delta for 31 years. Well, just practically every day for about 10 years, I would stop by Ray Hooper's shop. I knew Bert Jones. I work with some wonderful people in the science and math division, and we support each other. And I also work with a number of wonderful people on this campus that keep me smiling every day. And therein lies how I think I have managed to stay at Delta for 31 years with a smile on my face. Thank you.
Our next recipient really did a great job and a great service to the college over the number of years that she's been here, but especially this year, she was a tremendous asset and really was a savior of a large part of our college. As you all know, at the beginning of the year, we had a tremendous loss when Roseanne Burt passed away this past summer. And I had to step in the role of interim curriculum chair, and I still look at myself as interim curriculum chair, I should add, that and because I don't think anyone will take the place of Roseanne Burt in that important area. Well, there is one person that I went to say, could you help out this year? And as you know, curriculum is not an easy role, and Roseanne invested tremendous hours in making sure that that program ran as smoothly and as supportive to faculty as possible. And that person stepped forward, and she'd been stepping forward since 1977, helping all of us faculty. Because I remember when I joined the staff as a new instructor, and I should add on Julius's point that I came under President DeRico, and the first question that President DeRico asked me was, how much are you willing to work for? And so a little different perspective, I guess, depending on the president that you come under. But but this person, I digress here. But this person who did a great job has been here since 1977. So instantly, most of us are eliminated. She has her master's degree, and I think she already knows who she is. And I think we all know who she is because she's the person who would call up and say, what sort of books can I get for you to help you with your courses that we can put in the library? And that's Jan Mullen. Jan, thank you very much.
Just I'm a little breathless. Thank you all very much. What I want to say is basically that we were all asked to take the opportunity to try to fill those fabulous, large shoes of Roseanne. And Roger did an absolutely wonderful job, along with Kathy Johnson, making new ways of getting through that tricky curriculum process. You can see, obviously, I'm quite touched by this. Thank you all very much. And I want to thank the college in terms of books for all the support we've had with instructional capital outlay the past couple of years. It's really been able to help us turn around. Thank you.
And our last recipient, I'd like to ask Carol Thomas to come up and join me in making the presentation. We should applaud Carol, too, as she comes up. There's always that nice... This way we don't hear you walking across the stage.
Oh, thank you. Actually, if I were going to do this appropriately, I would have food with me right now, because the person who's about to receive this always does it with food. Whatever she is asked to do, she does willingly. She has dedicated more than 20 years to this college. Her students adore her. They will walk over broken glass for her. She has built a program on this campus that has become recognized probably nationwide. She also received the accreditation this last year, and you're going to know who it is right now, from the American, what is it, Char? Tell me what it is. Char Brito is the distinguished faculty. She's doing this very slowly so she can savor the moment. Oh, she got over that a long time ago, John. She's going to hug everybody. That's really nice.
This is sort of like the Academy Awards, and I've I thought it'd be nice to get this for years, and so since I have, there's a few people I need to thank. I need to thank the administration because they oftentimes point the direction that we're going to go. I'd like to mention to them, too, that since a tree fell down, that would be a great place for our new... We want to build a $6 million hospitality center out front, and that, right where that tree is, that would be great. I also need to thank the faculty for all their support. Some faculty and administrators here give up to $500 a year for our endowment fund. We have $100,000 that we can give scholarships, $5,000 worth every year from now forever. And we really appreciate all that financial report. When you see us coming in the future, we're going to ask for, it's either going to be we need 6,000 people to give $1,000 each, or 12,000 people to give $500 each. So that's our goal in the future, where the tree is. I need to thank the staff here. I got a travel grant to go back to Louisville, and I saw a college there, and the students paid $23,000 to go to school, and the grounds are not at all like Delta College's. It is so beautiful to walk in here every day. It's great, and people do a lot of work. The other thing, when we started in 1979, this was an add-on program in the cafeteria. We've managed to work with the cafeteria all those years, and they make us look really good, and I need to thank them too. I also want to thank the students, because the students make us look good as teachers. They bring things, they tell jokes, they're just wonderful here at Delta. I get to go visit work experience students on site, and I get to talk to their bosses. They love Delta students. That's a wonderful part of my job. And nutrition students, everyday nutrition changes, and culinary arts students, there's a couple restaurants here in town that have 5 of our students working there. So that's great, and it's all part of Delta College. There's a couple men I need to thank. One is husband number 1, that's how I call them. He taught photography here at Delta, and he took a lot of pictures, which we used to promote the program in the beginning. And then husband number 2, he likes to refer to himself as a Navy cook, but he's much more than that, and he has this tremendous brain, and he has all these visions of things that he wants to do. And so it's really great just to be around him. So I want to thank all those people, because I wouldn't be here if it weren't for all of you helping us. Thank you.
The next award we're going to give today is given today, is the Humanitarian Award, and I'm always...
An award that you will never win.
Well, now I was going to say, you know, people have variously described me as caustic and hard to get along with and lousy-mouthed and all
those
that.
were the compliments.
But I was going to say, I think I figured out a way to get the Humanitarian Award. You know how really bad management is at softball? I was thinking maybe I'd let them win a game next year. No, actually, we would really like to welcome Dr. Gould, because he's going to give an award that is very distinguished and very, very appropriate, I think, for the person who's receiving it this year. Thank you, Dr. Gould.
Thank you again, Mary and Rich. And Mary, I just want to let you know that Rich and I are conspiring to organize the adjunct faculty so someone else does win next year. Hey, this is my time. Sit down. And, you know, it's interesting to hear the questions that were given to both Julius and Roger. After Char's been up here, I think my question to any new employee is, how much are you going to give? And speaking about that, I'll announce today I'll be the first $1,000 giver, Char. Well, one of the very nice things that I inherited when I came to this institution was this humanitarian award. It's an award where I have the opportunity to look at our family and say who has distinguished not only this year, but over the years themselves by giving to not only our community, but the community in general. And the person I'm going to honor today has been here since 1968. He's a remarkable individual. He brought with him a wealth of educational and training. And as a new faculty member, he began his teaching career with the same principles that guide him today. That it's not just enough to teach a class, but you must be willing to go the extra mile for students and provide the added enrichment that support that can make the difference between success and failure. The recipient of this year's Humanitarian Award exemplifies that principle in every task he undertakes. Now that eliminates all of you who call yourselves she's in the room. He has worked tirelessly for the past 30 years to bring his message that education makes a difference to thousands of students in our area's schools. He is deeply respected by his peers and by his staff. Students flock to his classes. His contributions to this wonderful institution greatly exceed the expectations of faculty and those of us who have rather slimy bodies on both a professional and a personal level. But he does even more than that, and you've already heard what he does. He and his wife give of their time to spend time selling tickets for athletic events, so our athletes have an opportunity to participate in front of a crowd. It is with great pleasure that I invite back to the podium Dr. Julius Hastings. Let me say a few more things and then I'll take my If I may say just a few things that others have said about Julius. As you know, Julius takes the traveling chemistry show, and it's not called a chemistry show in the elementary schools. It's the traveling Delta Magic Show on the road. The Stockton Record recently wrote about Julius, and I quote, "Using his years of knowledge mixed with a little showmanship, the Delta College professor has offered his own brand of recruiting, wowing kids of all ages with magic." And John Ivey, the principal of Martin Luther King Elementary School, wrote to us that Julius is loved and respected by our parents, our students, and our staff. He gives his time generously to us, and he motivates and inspires our students. He is the sole reason that our entries in the county science fair have increased. He is a consummate professional and an excellent teacher. And Jim Thome, Jim stays around even though he's not here, but he wrote to us when we asked him to. He said, "In the 10 years I've been at Delta College, more students who have gone on to four-year colleges have come back to my office to run him down and say thank you. Probably 5-1 over any other faculty member. They just want to say to him, thanks for steering me right." And what was really interesting when I sent out feelers, and I wanted to hear if there was any reservations about giving Julius this award. And you know what I got back? From the maintenance and operations staff, I got a petition recognizing him and celebrating his contribution, and it was signed by every single member of the staff. Julius, I just want to say thank you for the Delta family, the Board of Trustees, and for every person whose lives you've touched for contributing so much to this community. Congratulations.
Well, no one can do anything alone. And I'd like to thank all of the folks in the electron microscopy area who has worked with me over many, many years. The people in